Hey there, everybody. My name is Angelo. If you are new here, welcome to the channel. If you're returning, welcome back. If you're curious, I am exhausted. I feel like I am overworked and underpaid, and I think a lot of us feel that way. It's been not so busy week, pretty light work. Pushing myself physically, of course. That's what happens when you work in a skilled trade. Usually beats the body up a little bit, but I wish it was padding my wallet a little bit more right now. Um, Unfortunately, life is life, and you have to chase that almighty dollar, and you don't always get paid what you think is fair. So right now, I don't think I'm getting a fair shake, but there's not really much I can do about it. The work environment is super competitive, and I want to talk to you guys about whatever. I'm not really sure, to be honest. But other than that, I try to talk about my days and how I'm doing. So, with that being said, feel free to subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell, it's free. Subscribe once again, like the video, do all the good stuff, leave comments, and yeah, with that being said, let's talk about it. Today was a day I was expecting to wind up going out east and working. I usually work out on the East End. That's kind of where all of our communities that we manage are, as well as the people with the money. So if you go to the people with the money, that's where you're going to get your jobs that you're working on. That's your electrical work. That's your installation of lights and fixtures and um, putting outlets in, as well as many other possibilities out there. But really, it's been very, very slow, and that happens sometimes. But this year specifically, it is continuing to slow down and slow down and slow down. And it's a problem for a lot of people. The contracting climate is getting tough, and there is only so much work that can be done. And so, if you can't work, you can't make money. And this is the crossroads that I am running into, is there are days where we just straight up aren't able to make money. And that's an issue, not only in the sense of our clientele aren't reaching out to us and having us work as often, but also just it seems like the landscape is shifting. The Hamptons seem to be less popular every single year that we go out there, and it's just been absolutely very, very not busy. Usually during the summer, we are swamped. A day off would be, you know, Sunday. We would be working 6 days a week sometimes. And right now, we are working five if we're lucky. So I spent some of my day over at a family member's house, cleaning it out, getting ready for work tomorrow. We're going out to Sag Harbor, bit of a far trip for where I live. Um, Out on the East End, like I said, that's the money. Those are the places that need the work done. And so you got to travel some unfortunate distances sometimes. But I'm going to be getting up early, going to be working out on the East End again. And it'll be nice to just be out and working. I think that's positive in that sense. However, it is unfortunate that it is not as consistent as it used to be, because I remember, 10 years ago when I was a little kid and my dad would bring me out on these jobs, and it was packed to the gills, work all day, and then rest afterwards, always. Now it's, work all day, kinda, maybe get 6 hours in sometimes if you're lucky, depending on what the job is. And there are days where we do get our full 8 hour jobs, but now it's just less work, more traffic, and it doesn't really make a lot of sense. And it's frustrating because I don't have control of the flow of Hampton traffic, the flow of how many people visiting, and just overall the jobs that we're able to do. People aren't willing to spend money. People aren't willing to spend money. I don't have the ability to change that, and so it's a hard truth, but it is true in its own sense. So it's really one of those things you kind of have to deal with, and it's hard to understand because it doesn't make sense. This has always been the place that made money, and now it is not really bringing that kind of influx of cash that we're used to seeing. And for the people that own the companies, it's not as big of a deal because they still make money. Maybe not as much in that area, but they do have reach over different areas. Of course, we specialize in the East End in those communities, a lot of residential work, but they have other things that they can work on. And those will be what they make money on. But us getting shorter days, less hours, that's a hard one to kind of put a fight up with your employer, because at the end of the day, they could just let you go completely. And that's a challenging one. That's a new one, and I'm trying to figure out how to overcome it, also how to adapt to this new job environment, because it's ridiculous. I hate it so much. LinkedIn is like one of the worst things ever. Indeed is one of the worst things ever. Everybody's promising the world and no one is even delivering an interview. I'd be lucky if I get responses back. The last important email I've gotten from a company was when I got shortlisted, and then they went and hired the person before they even took me from the shortlist and interviewed me. So that sucks. But like I said, life is life. Sometimes you just don't have things that you can get control over. However, I still believe in you and your ability to do something great. So I want you to forget about what everybody's telling you, chatting. Sorry, I'm exhausted in your ears, and just block it all out. Look straight forward at that goal. Eyes on the prize. Fake it till you make it. I don't care what you got to do. Because at the end of the day, you are your determining factor on whether or not you are going to succeed. No one else is. So I still have my challenges that I'm trying to figure out, and whether that be work, health, fitness, or anything in between. So I'm not going to quit on myself. I'm definitely not going to quit on all of you. So hopefully you don't quit on yourself and you don't quit on me, and we can hold each other accountable. If that sounds like a good deal, then I really, really look forward to talking to you all very soon. And I hope you all stay very happy, healthy, and safe. Talk to you very soon. Have a great rest of your day.